This is David Fowler, and you're now listening to The Movie Rate.
It's time for The Movie Rate, and tonight's victim is director David Fowler, that has done Big Trouble in Seattle and Paranormal Investigators, amongst others. Hello.
Hello, how's it going, man?
Fantastic. So tell us a little bit about what's going on with your new project.
So, as most people know, I'm working on both Big Trouble in Seattle and the Paranormal Investigators, which I recently wrapped that up in January. Big Trouble in Seattle, it started off as a short film that we filmed in 2016, began pre-production for it, and we started filming all of 2019. We're in the home stretch, right now. We're finishing up with the music score, getting the film all color graded and whatnot. It's just been very exciting. I mean, we have so many passionate, and same thing with the Paranormal Investigators. I think what was nice is, because both films I've written and directed, but the Paranormal Investigators has a whole different dynamic than Big Trouble, which is kind of nice. The films do not feel connected or related at all. It's honoring. And to be able to, wrap the film up and everyone's cheering and all of that, it just feels like you just made a huge accomplishment. Big Trouble should be out, I would say May. And the Paranormal Investigators, since we recently wrapped that up, right now we're just kind of seeing how the workflow is and everything. We have a special effects team, Bob Freeman, and his partner, David Rooms, that are kind of creating all the digital effects in the film. So if it's not October of this year, then it will probably be early on next year that we will begin to release the film.
Some things during the project can be a little contradicting at times, and do you think that there's other ways to be in prevention, or is it just easier as far as avoidance? What do you think is a better tactic for you, or do you think there's another tactic for this?
I think that's a great question. Me and my team always talk about this. Whatever issues come up, we deal with the issue, we'll assess the issue, and find a resolution so we can move on.
Several films are in the making. Sometimes when you get your films out there, sometimes they take years to be fully completed. Sometimes they take years to actually be out there in the public. How do you influence to others to be more interested back into the film if it's not in circulation for an X amount of time?
A lot of times don't pay attention to what's going on the outside as far as what everyone else in the industry is doing. I've always been kind of a lone wolf, just kind of doing things my way and controlling what's in front of me. A lot of times, I will talk to other filmmakers about the projects that they have going on, and just kind of the time, the money that it takes to get it done. I really established our production company, DCT Projects. Me and my friends will go out, get the camera, all of that rolling, because we just wanted to create stories. Obviously, we didn't have thousands of dollars to drop into it, but we still wanted to try to tell meaningful, impactful stories, and we were getting them done 4 months at a time. It will be 6 months at a time. It just depends on the project as well, as far as just how long they take as far as to make and just to get out there to the public or distributors or whatever they plan on doing. I just think it really depends on the project itself. My experience, like the Paranormal Investigators, we were in pre-production for that film about 2 years before we actually started filming. In the pre-production, there was a lot of special effects planning because of the script. There was a lot of things I had to talk to with the effects producer about what was possible, what wasn't possible, according what we could and could not do took a lot of time as well. And just with the kind of film the Paranormal Investigators was, the film is based on chemistry with the whole cast. So I sat down with the actors, going over the script with them and also making sure they understood the context of every scene. A lot of them had notebooks, and we would do character building. So I would give them more information about the character, and we'll come together and talk about their ideas that they wanted to put into the character. And whatever we come up with, I would go back to the script and implement it into the script. And I think because we took that time with the effects, with the cast, and this and that, I think it is the big reason why we had a very successful production. It was tight. The cast knew the whole entire script. The sets were done on an efficient time. We really gave ourselves time each and every day that we were filming.
Oh yeah, but when it comes to the public though, let's say this film still be in the works, so let's say it's completed, but let's say it kind of falls out of circulation in terms of the hype. Let's say it's kind of on a standstill, even though it is completed. But what goal of percentage do you at least try to start with, try to get that audience pulled into the story that you want to perceive as, even though this film is not exactly right there on the shelf, or let alone for viewing right away, but you really want to get people to be enticed by it?
Great question. My advice, and just partially experiences, I think, and this is things that I've had to deal with, I think, earlier in my career. And regardless of the issue, money related, or just, if you're working out deals with distribution or whatever the cause may be. And this is why a lot of times, like for me, sometimes if I know we're working really hard and things are taking a little longer, we'll kind of keep things on hush as far as not posting as much on social media. I think the biggest thing for me, I don't want to let my people down. I don't want to promise something and we're not able to deliver it then until we have something that is concrete. I think the best thing to do in those kind of situations is just keeping things under wrap and just making sure you're delivering the best quality film. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's really all about, is making sure you're delivering the best of the best. And it shouldn't matter how much time it takes or what trouble you have to go through. Because every crew that is on board with your film, the cast and crew, they're trusting you to make a really great film. I can't remember his name. They were in the industry. They were making a heavy special effects film, and there was a lot of things that was taking much longer with the editing process and stuff, and people were wondering about this film. So what he did in the meantime, because he couldn't get the film out, he really wanted to, but it just wasn't ready, he made graphic novels. It was such a clever idea. Because, if people that are really interested in this world or this realm that you're trying to convey them into, the graphic novels or whatever it may be is a good way to kind of introduce them to this world that you're trying to bring them into, while the film is in those final stages of being completed, or you're waiting on a certain deal or whatever it may be. So that would be my advice on that.
You got to keep that audience on your side to at least a degree, at least as a build-up, at least a starter build-up, because if you can't get anybody to actually look over and say, hey, check this out, just at least, this is in the works, this is what we're going to, or at least we're about to release, at least throw something out there that kind of gives them a general idea. It's like idea versus presentation. Which one are you going to go for? That's the thing.
Right. And a lot of people like going for the idea, but it's all about the presentation. That makes the big impact.
Go and plug in any websites or anything that we can check out right now.
You can check the works out on IMDb. You can actually see the trailers on YouTube, and you can actually see some of my older work on there too. Came a long way since, but it kind of just gives you an idea of just my storytelling abilities and what I like to do with the genres of the film. Because I've dabbled in on a lot of different genres, action, drama, supernatural, horror. But I think that as of right now, the best way, we do have Facebook pages, Big Trouble in Seattle, Paranormal Investigators, both on Instagram. Also, the Paranormal Investigators is on Twitter. And IMDb is kind of like the place that I go to the most and update everything as far as like behind the scenes, pictures, still shots of the film. So yeah, that's kind of the best place to go to, if not YouTube, for the trailers.
There you have it, everybody. That is director David Fowler.
It's a pleasure. It's an honor to be on the show. Thank you so much. To my other filmmakers that are listening, continue being awesome. Don't ever give up. Whatever project that you're working on or whatever idea that you have, just continue to pursue it. Don't let anything get in the way, because I promise you that it will all pay off. Hard work always works.